Union efforts to impose an embargo on Russian oil faced some roadblocks. Hungarian officials said they would not back the plan in its current form. The EU has worked to create a consensus among its 27 member nations for cutting off Russian oil. The EU wants to do this by the end of 2022. The purpose of the blocking the oil is to block a key source of revenue that is funding Russia's war in Ukraine. Hungary remains the most vocal member nation blocking the measure. This is because Russian oil is a huge part of Hungary's energy supply. The country gets 85% of its natural gas and more than 60% of its oil from Russia.
That update just coming down. She has now been found, and right now police are working to find out what the details are surrounding this incident. Once we learn them, we'll let you know. For the Breaking News Desk, I'm Alan Devlin. Tracy, back to you in the studio.
Alan, thank you. At this hour, we are slowly learning new details about Tuesday's tragic shooting inside that Texas elementary school that killed 21 people, including 19 children. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says the shooter made 3 social media posts before the shooting. In those posts, he said that he was going to shoot his grandmother, then that he had shot her, and then finally that he was going to an elementary school to shoot it up. Governor Abbott also revealed the shooter used an AR-15 automatic rifle during the rampage. The shooter had no known criminal or mental health history. Well, one day after one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history, people everywhere once again asking why it happened and what can be done to stop it. CBS's Aaron Jones has the story.
Sadness and grief overwhelmed Uvalde, Texas, and the nation following another mass shooting. An 18-year-old gunman barged into an elementary school Tuesday with an assault-style rifle and high-capacity magazines.
It just started shooting children and teachers that were inside that classroom, having no regard for human life, just a complete tragedy.
Authorities say the gunman shot and wounded his grandmother before the school rampage. They are investigating what led up to the massacre.
No friends, no girlfriends at this time that we know of, was unemployed, no criminal history, no gang affiliation. So we're trying to determine exactly what the motive was.
At least 21 people, including 19 young children, died. In an address to the nation last night, President Biden called on lawmakers to take action.
Why do we keep letting this happen? Where in God's name is our backbone to have the courage to deal with it and stand up to the lobbies? It's time to turn this pain into action.
Some parents waited all night here at the Civic Center to see if their child survived the massacre. Authorities even using DNA samples to try and identify some of the victims.
My daughter, Annabelle Guadalupe Rodriguez. Her name, she's only 10 years old.
Jesse Rodriguez eventually got word his daughter was one of the victims. As this community learns more about who was killed inside the school, they are grappling with a sudden and unbearable loss. Aaron Jones, CBS News, Uvalde, Texas.
Now reviewing surveillance video to try and track down the crooks.
Bullets flying in a quiet Canton neighborhood. This afternoon, one man is dead after a shooting involving Canton police. The GBI says officers were called to a home on Parkbrook Way by a woman who reported that a man was in a room with a gun. When officers arrived, they heard a gunshot, and one of them fired their weapon.
We're hoping to get more information on what was going on because, you kind of want to know, what am I dealing with here? Is this a isolated incident, or is this, is this crime that we need to be concerned about?
According to the GBI, one of the gunshots on the man may have been self-inflicted. His body is now being taken to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy.
We are following breaking news. Brookhaven police officers used a drone to track down an armed robber. The suspect has not been caught. Alan Devlin is at the Breaking News Desk with more.
Absolutely, and we have new video that shows all this go down. Police say they were chasing 2 violent armed robbery suspects in the area when they were able to arrest one of them in a CVS parking lot. But this drone video right here is what led these officers to that second person. The first one got away. The drone team is what was able to find him hiding in the cul-de-sac nearby. Officers then chased him down to the back using the drone to provide updates and were able to make an arrest. Alton Johnson and Shaquan Collins both now behind bars. From the Breaking News Desk, I'm Alan Devlin. Back to you guys in the studio.
Alan, thank you.
Staff and faculty safety. CBS 46's Tori Cooper has that story.
This morning, school drop-off across the metro had a different feel to it.
It is something that I'm always worried about because people are kind of crazy.
The horrifying images from Uvalde, Texas, still fresh in the minds of parents just hours after a gunman entered the Robb Elementary School, shooting and killing 19 students and 2 adults, including a teacher.
You just never know what's going to happen when you send your child anywhere. And so it's just really sad, and we're definitely praying for all of the families who were.
And despite the school year coming to a close here locally, some of the largest school districts in Georgia now stepping up security in the final days of school.
I think it's a good direction to go to add extra security measures.
Gwinnett Police Department and the Fulton County Police Department both adding an extra patrol officer to each.
Robb Elementary School honor roll ceremony. Less than 2 hours later, they were all dead, slain by a crazed gunman. 10-year-old Amory Jo Garza was killed as she called 911. New details of the massacre that ended with the murders of 19 children and 2 teachers are emerging. We now know that all the victims were in the same classroom. The gunman was so cold-blooded, he reportedly told the children, "You're going to die," before opening fire. The gunfire erupted after the shooter crashed his vehicle near the school, says Lieutenant Chris Olivares.
As he went inside the school, he shot several police officers. At that point, those officers were at a disadvantage, and they started breaking windows around the school, trying to evacuate as many people as possible.
Pulling kids through windows.
Right, exactly. And at that point, the shooter actually made his way into a classroom, barricaded himself in the classroom, and that's when he just started shooting children, teachers that were inside that classroom.
Frantic parents rushed to the Civic Center to give DNA samples for the heartbreaking task of establishing whether their children were slain.
My in-laws, along with my husband, they were all over there at the Civic Center waiting for news, hoping that she was still alive somewhere. But once they started doing swabs to identify her.
Among the dead, teacher Eva Morales. Her husband, a local cop, reportedly conducted an active shooter drill at the local high school in March.
She put 150% into everything she did. She was an amazing teacher. She was an awesome mom.
There was drama today at Texas Governor Greg Abbott's news conference. The event was interrupted by Beto O'Rourke, who's running against Abbott in the gubernatorial election.
I can't believe you're a sick son of a bitch that would come to a deal like this to make a political issue.
Before the massacre, Robb Elementary was a typical American school, full of promising youngsters and dedicated teachers, as seen in this video posted on Facebook. Sweet memories of innocence, now lost forever.
The gunman was killed, but could he have been stopped before he got to the school? He had a troubled home life. He'd been bullied because of a stutter, and he certainly dropped hints on social media. Les Trent has more.
We're learning chilling new details about the teenager who carried out the Texas massacre. 18-year-old Salvador Ramos posted messages on social media hinting about his evil plans. Wait till tomorrow went this warning and this. Kids be scared, along with photos of 2 assault rifles and a high-capacity magazine. The morning of the massacre, he sent this text to a young woman he knew. "You gonna repost my gun pics?" She answered, "What your guns got to do with me?" He replied, "I got a little secret I want to tell you." Texas Governor Greg Abbott revealed 3 chilling Facebook posts.
He said, "I'm going to shoot my grandmother." The second post was, "I shot my grandmother." The third post, maybe less than 15 minutes before arriving at the school, was, "I'm going to shoot an elementary school."
Here's Jim Murray.
Friends say Ramos was a loner who was bullied at school for a speech impediment and reportedly came from a family troubled by drug addiction. Several months before the massacre, he came to live here with his grandmother, who worked for the school district. He slept on a mattress on the floor.
Joseph Moreno is a neighbor.
Did you know that he had guns?
No, like I said, he had just turned 18 and he went and bought it. And he told this friend of his, look what I got. And the friend said, "Hey, bro, why do you need those for?" He says, "Don't worry about it." That was his answer. Don't worry about it.
That gives you chills, doesn't it?
Yes.
Ramos reportedly became obsessed with the video game Call of Duty. School friends told GMA his behavior was increasingly bizarre.
I was going to start being his friend no more because he was being weird with not only me but a lot of other people.
He had scars on his face, and I remember somebody asking him what happened, are you okay? Because he showed up to school with them, and he just straight out told them, with a smile, I did it myself.
Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Keith Abloh says Ramos has similar traits to other mass killers, including the teenager accused of the Buffalo supermarket massacre and the Parkland school shooter.
To play football, he enjoyed passing the pigskin with his doting grandfather. Xavier Javier Lopez was 10. He loved to dance. He also enjoyed skateboarding, and his favorite subject in school was art. Anne-Marie Jo Garza had just made the honor roll. She made her father very proud. Eliana Cruz Torres enjoyed baseball. Here she is ready to hit a home run. Tess Marie Mata was also 10. She really liked milkshakes. Here she is dancing up a storm to Bruno Mars. Lexi Rubio was described as a bright light to everyone who knew her. Jose Flores was a big baseball fan. He loved school. McKenna Lee Elrod was 10 years old. Regilio Torres called himself a difference maker at school. He was 10. Annabelle Guadalupe Rodriguez showed a lot of school spirit, recently celebrating Field Day. Her cousin Jackie Cazares also lost her life. She looks like an angel in her communion dress. Alethea Ramirez held a chocolate chip cupcake to celebrate turning 10. 11-year-old Miranda Mathis had a smile that would light up the room. There are others, all 10 years old. Matt Rodriguez, Nevea Bravo.
Hi, Dad.
Elle Garcia made this video for her dad, who was working and couldn't attend her birthday party.
I love you, Dad.
Yala Nicole Seguero posted this game day photo, ready to watch a basketball game at school. Her cousin, Yese Carmelo Levanos, was also killed. Layla Salazar proudly holds her first place field day ribbons, embraced by her loving family. So many broken hearts, little ones who had so much to live for.
We'll have more on the tragedy later in the
new legislation. They don't have the votes. Republicans say the Senate should focus on mental health laws instead.
I think any weapon is dangerous. Any firearm is potentially dangerous in the hands of a deranged lunatic. At the end of the day, the issue here is not the firearm, it's the lunatic.
But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will bring gun safety laws up for a vote no matter what.
We are going to vote on gun legislation. The American people are tired of moments of silence, tired of the kind words offering thoughts and prayers.
But there is little support for new gun laws among Republican voters, making action out of Congress highly unlikely. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Texas